Hi, I am Patricia Mavil Aguilos, and today we will going to discuss one of the topic in Science 9. Have you ever wondered how does the nutrients from the food we eat reaches the different parts of our body? Our body receives nutrients and substances it needs via circulatory system. So let's discuss now what is circulatory system. The circulatory system is also known as cardiovascular system. It's a transportation system of the body. This organ system is responsible for distributing of nutrients, oxygen, and other essential substances to all parts of the body. That is why it is called the transport system of our body. It also removes and collects carbon dioxide and other waste materials from our body. These waste materials are eliminated from our body through the other organ called excretory system. The major structure that made the system possible are the heart, the blood vessels, and the blood. And because of this, the circulatory system is called as cardiovascular system, where cardio refers to the heart and vascular refers to the channel or passage of the blood. So let's talk about the composition of the circulatory system. First, we will go to discuss the heart. The heart is the pumping organ of the circulatory system. It is about the size of your clenched fist. Did you know that during the average person's life, the heart beats at least 2,400 million times and pumps more than 500 liters of blood? And during at rest, the person's average heartbeat is about 60 to 100 times per minute. The heart has two major circuits within the circulatory pathway, which work together in a closed circulatory system. These two pathways are the pulmonary pathway and the systemic pathway. In the human organism, the right side of the heart pushes the blood to the pulmonary circuit so it can be oxygenated in the lungs. The left side of the heart pumps oxygenated blood to the entire body. The blood is then returned to the heart via systemic pathway, where the cycle begins again to the pulmonary pathway. The heart is an involuntary muscle that works somewhat independently from the nervous system. Now, let's take a look what makes up our heart. The heart is a muscular organ which has 4 chambers. It consists of 2 atria, which are the upper chambers, and the 2 ventricles, which are the lower chambers. These chambers act as a reservoir of the blood that enters the heart. The atria receives the blood and the ventricles pump the blood out of the heart. Between these chambers, there are a flock of muscle called valves. Valves are very important because they prevent the backflow of the blood and ensure that blood flows only in one direction. Do you have an insight how does our blood reaches all parts of our body? That is true, the blood vessels. The blood vessels are the tubes that serves passageway of the blood to the different parts of the body. The blood vessels are similar to a two-way highway system. One lane or direction is known as the arteries and the other is called the veins. Starting in the heart, that blood flow of the body through arterial blood vessels. The larger of these arteries is known the aorta. These arteries provide the pathway for blood to travel to the body from the heart. Arteries are further divided into arterioles and arterial capillaries. Arterioles are smaller blood vessels that branch out from a larger arteries and lead to arterial capillaries, which are the smallest blood vessels in the body. Arterial capillaries are connected to venous capillaries. The arterial side of the capillaries is dropping off oxygen and nutrients to the body cells. The venous side of the capillaries is picking up metabolic waste from the body and cells, and together they form a network where arteries and veins connect, completing the closed circulatory circuit. The blood flow from the venous capillaries will flow back from the body to the heart through the venous blood vessels. Similar to the arteries, only in reverse, the blood flows from the venous capillaries into a system of veins called venules. These venules connect to larger veins which carry the blood back from the body to the heart via the largest veins known as the superior and inferior vena cava. Now that we have idea on how blood moves throughout the body, we can discuss what actually is. Blood is a fluid or liquid known as plasma. Plasma is made up of 90% water. That is why drinking sufficient amount of healthy water is really necessary. Blood contains many substances, but the three substances we will discuss are the three different types of blood cells, each having its own particular function. So the first type of blood cell is called the erythrocytes. These are known as the red blood cells. The function of the red blood cells is to carry oxygen from the lungs and transport it to the different parts of the body, and removes carbon dioxide and other waste. Red blood cells contain hemoglobin, which is rich in iron and gives the blood a red color when it combines with oxygen. Next is leukocyte. It is also known as the white blood cells. These are generally bigger than the red blood cells but fewer in number. As a matter of fact, in every 500 red blood cells, there is about 1 white blood cells. White blood cells are known to be the soldier of the body because they protect and defend the body against diseases and infection. Next is the thrombocytes, or what we call the platelets. Platelets play an important role in blood clotting. When some body tissues are damaged due to a wound or cut, the platelets help from blood clots to prevent the loss of blood and close up the wounds. That is why if a person has a lack of platelets in blood, it can cause excessive bleeding. And now that you know how circulatory system works, it is also important that we know how to take care of our circulatory system and keep the system healthy. Once our circulatory system fails to do its job, the whole body may suffer and even lead to death. Well, this kind of situation may be avoided if we follow the proper care of our circulatory system. For the summary, we have here the circulatory system. Circulatory system is also known as cardiovascular system. It's a transportation system of the body. This organ system is responsible for distributing of nutrients, oxygen, and other essential substances. It also removes and collects carbon dioxide and other waste materials from different parts of the body. The circulatory system is made up of heart, blood vessels, and blood. Next is heart. Heart is the pumping station or pumping organ of the circulatory system. The heart is an involuntary muscle that works somewhat independently from the nervous system. Next is the blood vessels. Blood vessels are the tubes that serve as a passageway for the blood to reach different parts of the body. Next is the blood. The blood is a liquid or fluid known as plasma. Plasma is made up of 90% water. Blood contains three types of blood cells, which is the red blood cells, the white blood cells, and the platelets. So that's it. I hope you learned something from me. See you again in our next lesson.